Hi guys, this video may look a little different from where I normally record my videos. That's because I'm out here with my family on a 2-week-long camping trip. We drove all the way from Austin, Texas to Everglades National Park here in Florida, which is the place I'm at right now. Just an amazing place to be. So far we got to do the airboat tour. We also spent half a day canoeing in the canal. I mean, there's a lot of water trails here, so if you're a big fan of water sports, definitely a good place to be. We also got a chance to drive up to Miami and visited that place for the first time as a family. We managed to find a local pickleball court at Tropical Park, and we spent maybe 3 or 4 hours that one morning and played some pickleball there. So far we're having a lot of fun. We're going to be camping here in Everglades National Park for 6 nights in total. Then we're going to head back to Texas again to prepare for our new year. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for some time because it's been a full year since I started playing pickleball. Now looking back, I've definitely made a lot of improvements as a player, but also as a person over the last year. Also, I made lots and lots of mistakes too. And it was also during this year that I became a YouTube content creator. Now how I became a content creator, that's probably a story for another day. But much thanks to you guys watching my videos and supporting my journey on pickleball. Here I am making another video about pickleball related stuff, and I want to start sharing some of the mistakes I've made over the last year, especially as somebody who's coming into the sport new without a tennis background. I'm hoping by sharing some of my mistakes with you guys, it's going to help you avoid the same mistakes. So to kick us off today, I'm going to go through, if I were to start all over again as someone who's brand new to the sport of pickleball, how would I prioritize on spending my money? So first of all, the number one most important thing that I would invest my money in is not the paddles. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's not the paddles. Even though paddles are very important, because without paddles, it's kind of hard to play the sport. But paddles is not as important as you may think. I'm talking about shoes here, proper court shoes. Why? Well, because if you want to enjoy pickleball for as long as possible, you want to prioritize on increasing the longevity. And to do that, you want to protect yourself from injuries. Out of all the gear that you can possibly buy with money, in my personal opinion, I think shoes are by far the single most important piece of gear that's going to help prevent you from unnecessary injuries. Also, a good pair of court shoes is also going to give you more mobility on the court. It's going to offer you good stability, good traction. It's going to offer you the support that's needed for you to move and switch direction rapidly on the court, which in turn can help prevent ankle sprains and other injuries. In fact, when I first started out playing pickleball, I was just wearing my normal sneakers. It didn't take me very long before I seriously sprained my ankle. This actually happened during my second private lesson with my coach back then. We were just doing cross-court dinking, and he was moving me quite a lot with his aggressive dinks. And on one dink, he pulled me very wide, and I was pushing myself very hard to try and get the ball back. And unfortunately, I sprained my ankle in the process of doing so. I actually had to take 3 weeks off from pickleball, which sucked. It took my body roughly 6 months to slowly recover and heal the injury to a point where I no longer feel the pain in my ankle. So it was a long time. So I decided to go get myself a couple of pairs of proper court shoes, and it really helped me out a lot ever since. Now when I play on a court, I definitely feel a lot more secure with these court shoes. I feel a lot more comfortable pushing myself more without worrying about being injured. So if you're someone who's just starting out in pickleball, I highly recommend investing the money in buying yourself a pair of court shoes. And you can quite easily find a decent pair of court shoes for under $100. And also keep in mind that at the beginning of your pickleball journey, your body is still conditioning itself to the different types of movements that's needed by pickleball, something that your body may not be used to at the beginning. So you definitely want to take extra precaution in protecting your body during this early phase of your pickleball journey. Now there's definitely a lot of choices when it comes to court shoes. For me personally, I own a pair of Nike Men's GP Pro Pickleball shoes and also the Adidas Game Court 2. Both of them are well under $100. I've been wearing these for close to a year now, and they've been very solid so far, and I'm still wearing them today when I play my games. But the point is, you don't really need to spend more than $100 for your first pair of court shoes, and you're going to get so much benefit out of that. I definitely think it's an investment that you're not going to regret later on. So if you're interested in checking out the court shoes that I've just mentioned, I'll pop the links down below in the description. And by the way, some of the links that I'll be sharing in this video are commissioned, meaning when you do decide to purchase from my links, I will receive a very small amount of commission. So I just wanted to be completely transparent here. And if you do decide to use the links and discount codes below to make your purchase, it'll be another good way to support this channel. In a lot of cases, you're going to receive good discount, which saves yourself money too. And now moving on to the second most important thing. Yes, you may have guessed it, it's the paddles. Paddles are definitely very important, like I said earlier, because without paddles, it's kind of hard to play pickleball, unless you're, of course, very good, like this guy. But in all seriousness, there's a huge difference between playing with a good paddle versus playing a $15 paddle that you find from Amazon. But in my opinion, I think once the paddle meets certain performance threshold, the benefit of having a better performing paddle really starts to diminish significantly from that point on. For example, a $100 paddle and a $200 paddle with similar design and construction is very unlikely gonna transform your gameplay to the next level. But the difference between a $15 paddle and $100 paddle can be huge. So over the last year of playing pickleball, I've gotten to know a lot of pickleball players of all levels. Some of the people that I know have quite easily spent over $1,000 on paddles within just a period of a few months. And I'm also very guilty of spending too much money on paddles myself, because between my wife, my son and I, we own a total of 12 paddles between the three of us. And I think even that's too many paddles for what we need. I'm also of the opinion that if you're 5'0" or below, and if you already have a paddle that meets the basic performance threshold for your level and it fits your playstyle, getting another paddle is unlikely going to transform you to the next level. The bottleneck is still going to be yourself. You're going to remain as the biggest factor that's going to make yourself play better or worse, not the paddle. But as far as the paddles go, I don't recommend any new players spending more than $200 on the paddles. There's a ton of great paddles that you can buy for less than $200. It's just a matter of picking the paddle that fits your playstyle. Out of all the paddles that I've either owned or played, there's three particular paddles that I personally would like to recommend for different reasons. Firstly, the Vatic Pro Prism. As far as affordability and value for money goes, I think it's really hard to beat this paddle here. I've played with the Prism V7 a few times now, really liked it. It felt light in my hand and gave me plenty of power when needed during the hands battles at the kitchen. And for something that only comes in at $99.99, I really think it's a no-brainer. And if you use my discount code SDP, you'll receive an additional $10 discount, which brings the price of this paddle down to $89.99. If you're doubting the performance of this paddle, look at one of the top pros, Oakhill. He recently won the MLP championship with this paddle. And to me, that's a testament to what players can potentially achieve with this paddle. Again, the ceiling is going to be yourself, not the paddle. And I'll post the link and my discount code to this paddle down below in the description. Definitely go check it out if you're interested. The second paddle that I would highly recommend is the 6-0 Double Black Diamond. This is the paddle that I personally enjoy playing the most. It's currently also my go-to paddle. I play with the 14mm version. I don't add any weights to it. The paddle just feels so balanced between power and control. It also gives me a good amount of spin as well. Overall, it just fits my playstyle a lot. I've been playing with this paddle for just over 6 months now. No issues with it so far. Just impressed with the overall build quality of the paddle. Now, it is a more expensive paddle than the Vatic Pro Prism Flash, and it comes in at $180 and definitely the most expensive option out of the three. But if you use my discount code SDP, you're going to save 10% on this paddle. Again, if you do have a budget I definitely recommend this paddle for anybody who's just coming into the game and wanting to choose a good solid old court paddle. I'll post the link and my discount code down below in the description. If you're interested, definitely go check it out. Now, last but not least is Volare. Now, I actually own both the Volare Mach 1 Forza and the Mach 2 Forza. These paddles are amongst their newer releases. They do have plenty of power and spin. Instead of recommending the Forza, I actually would recommend their original Mach 1 and Mach 2 because in my opinion, I think the original Mach 1 and Mach 2 are probably a little better balance between power and control, especially for newer players. And more importantly, the original Mach 1 and Mach 2 come in at $139.99. So if you want value for money, and also if you want to have an easier time controlling the paddles, I definitely recommend the original Mach 1 and Mach 2. Again, use my discount code SDP to get 10% discount on any Volare paddles on their website. Another reason why I wanted to mention Volare here is because this company is based in Austin, Texas, where I live. So I do want to support local businesses when opportunities present themselves. Now, on to number 3, most important thing that I would spend my money on if I were to start all over again, and that is coaching. Things like clinics, private lessons, and live balls. In fact, if you're serious about learning the game and wanting to get better at it quickly, I would personally budget somewhere between $150 to $200 on just getting either lessons, clinics, going to live balls, or a combination of these 3. I think this is where you're going to get the most improvements to your game. As far as the clinics go, most of the group clinics that I've been to can cost anywhere between $25 to $50. So for $150 to $200, I would say you can probably get somewhere between 4 to 8 clinics, depending on the level and also the person running the clinic. The group clinics are a very cost-effective way to improve on things that you're currently working on. You're definitely going to get a lot of reps during the clinics, and also a lot of the time you're going to get some direct feedback from the coach during the clinic regarding your technique and also what you can do differently to make it better. Now, something similar to the clinic is called the live ball session. The idea is very similar to the King of the Courts, where one side is the kings, the other side is the challengers. It's a really fun and fast-paced doubles format to help players accelerate the learning process. Because the live ball would skip serve and return, and the instructor would feed the ball every time to start each game, giving you lots of reps and practice on various in-game scenarios, allowing you to really focus on getting better and moving up to the kitchen. Or if you're on the king side, then it gives you a lot of chance to practice on pushing back the other team. And this has definitely been my favorite thing to do lately. The Lab Pickleball here in Austin, I really think they do a great job of running live ball sessions for players of different levels. I've been to the live ball twice now, and I really had a blast each time. However, one thing I'll say is that both owners, Carlos and Ryan, they are great players and great coaches, but no offense to these guys, I think they're making a dumb mistake right now. And here's why. The Lab is the place where a lot of famous pros go drill, shoot videos, and play practice games. It normally costs $20 to just reserve 30 minutes of the court time. Now, for their live ball sessions, they charge only $30 per person for each session, and each session lasts for roughly 2 hours. They also limit the number of participants to a maximum of 6 people per session. So both times I was there, I spent most of the time actually playing, getting a ton of exercise and reps, very little downtime, since there's only 6 players in total. Also, you get some great feedback from both Carlos and Ryan throughout the session. You'll also get to meet other players of similar level as you and build new friendship as well. I mean, all of that for just $30. I think that's a dumb mistake, and I don't know what they're doing. So if you want to take advantage of their dumb mistake, go check out their website and sign up for a session before they change the price on it. And I'll pop the link of their website down below in the description. And by the way, I'm not sponsored or getting any commissions from the Lab for making this recommendation. I've just been genuinely having a lot of fun playing other live ball sessions each time. Something that I actually think you might also enjoy too if you get a chance to try it out. Now, as far as private lessons go, they typically can go anywhere between 50 to 150 per hour, depending on the level of coaching and who the coach is. The top pros may actually charge somewhere between 200 to 250 per lesson. And I think private lessons can be very valuable if you're just starting out on pickleball and wanting to learn some good fundamentals to start with. If you're struggling with certain scenarios or certain shots or certain techniques, private lessons is also a good option for you to improve on those things faster. Because what's going to happen during a private lesson is that the coach is going to give you a lot of instant feedback based on what you're doing. You also get a chance to ask a lot of questions based on what you understand. Then perhaps you can focus more on the things that you're struggling with specifically. So the entire lesson can be tailored towards your specific needs, which is pretty cool. Now, it's definitely a lot more expensive than clinics and live balls. I do recommend considering getting at least one lesson from a good coach if you're just starting out, and get your fundamentals down, learn the basics of the game. So when I first started out, I actually got 4 lessons with my pickleball teacher Cobbler. Shout out to Cobbler, who's also based in Austin, Texas here. Very good teacher who spends a lot of time studying and thinking about the game. A lot of how I play today and what I know about the game has definitely been shaped by what I learned from Cobbler over the past year from his private lessons, and also he runs clinics. And also when I drill with him, he also shares a lot of good tips with me too. So I'll share his contact information down below in the description. If you're in the Austin area, you're looking for a good coach, definitely reach out to him. Now, if I were to start again with, let's say, a limited budget of somewhere between $100 to $200 on private lessons and clinics, I would probably start out with one private lesson, then spend the rest of the budget on clinics and live balls. I think with this combination, you'll get the most out of your money, because the first lesson is where you're going to learn all the fundamentals and the mechanics of the basic shots that's needed for the game. Then you'll want to follow up with some clinics to kind of further reinforce what you learned in that first lesson. And I don't recommend doing back-to-back private lessons, because you do need some time in between the lessons to process that learning from each session. Now, at this point, you may only have about $50 remaining, and this brings us to the 4th most important thing to spend your money on. And for me, I would like to recommend getting as many balls as possible, because if you're serious about getting better with your technique and mechanics, you're going to need a lot of repetitions at this point. And for that, you also need a lot of balls that you can hit over and over again. Now, for me personally, I use the Selkirk S1 Pro. These balls are very crack resistant, meaning you can use them for longer without needing to replace them as often. Over time, it's going to save you money as well. And I've used these balls for over 5 months now, and I drill at least 3 times a week. And during my sessions, I practice all sorts of hard shots and soft shots. Up until this point, I've only had 3 or 4 of those balls cracked, and the majority of them are still going strong till this day. Now, these are the top 4 things that I would personally recommend prioritizing where to spend your money if you're just starting out in pickleball. And I do want to apologize for this being a very long video, but I really wanted to share my personal experience with you all. So hopefully this can help you think more about how you can spend your money more wisely and get the most value out of your money. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.